wanted to use Ableton's groups. And for the chords, I used this sound. I made it from scratch. Hi, my name is Ramiro and welcome to the Sample Focus channel. Today we have a disclosure approach in music production. I'm not basing this on a specific song. You heard the preview at the start, that's what we're going for. I already made this, and while I was working on it, I was writing down my process, and that's the way I'm gonna be breaking it down, in the same way that I did it. Okay, let's jump into it. Go to samplefocus.com and get some appropriate samples. If you don't have some house samples, Sample Focus is great for that. In my case, the first thing I did was make a drum rack. Maybe you are not familiar with this, don't worry about it. It's called a drum sampler. It's new from Ableton 12.1. If you are interested in me breaking down this new device, you can check our video doing that. This is just my default for the drum rack. I'm not actually using anything that you can't use with simpler claps, hi-hats, and then a couple percussive sounds. I knew since the beginning that I wanted to use Ableton's groups. If you never use them, it's super easy, at least in the way I use them. A group is a way of giving these different clips and patterns swing. This is my intro loop with this kick, which I eventually got rid of, but we're gonna leave it for now so you can hear. If you want to add group, you just have to go here in the group section. This is on Ableton 12. I don't know in the versions before. I think you go to packs, chord library, and go to groups. Just select the one you want. Grab this and boom, into the clip. And we can also drag it here into the group section in the clip. And now you should see this group pool. If you don't see it, you can go to view group pool. Increase this quantize thing. But nothing happens. That's because this time is not working for our pattern. Play around and find what works. In my case, it was 1/8. And we can exaggerate this a lot more. But that's a bit too much. Around 30 for me. For this type of genre, groove is amazing because now this same groove we can drag into any clip that we have, and we don't even need to drag it. We can just go into the clip and select here group, and we select the one we have, and it's going to be exactly with the same settings and everything. You don't need to add the groove to everything that you add, but you are gonna notice what needs to be in the same group and what doesn't. Group over. Once I had this, I knew this was gonna be like my intro pattern, and then I did like my first like drop. So we have this kick that I'm gonna get rid of. This is just so you can hear what I was working with. This clap is always quantized. It's like the main clap. And then we have this other clap, which is hitting slightly before. So we get like a clack. This one is only playing here. This one plays here. I started with a 4-bar loop. And once I liked it, I just duplicated the loop with this button and did like very small changes, adding this clap, for example, extra hi-hats. You can notice at the beginning. Here we have percussion, open hat, close hat, and then in the second one we have just percussion and open hat. And it's a very small difference, but that makes this loop, which is still very short, feel like it's longer in a way. Another clap to give some support to this one, and then we have this. We can even duplicate this loop and make it feel even more big. But this is enough. After this, I wanted to do the chords. And for the chords, I used this plugin called Tal You Know 62. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it was developed by Tal Software, who have a lot of stuff for free. And this is like a small version of a Juno 60 simulator, which is paid. And this is like the small version of that, enough to make some pretty good sounds. This sound, I made it from scratch. It took me like 1 minute. I'm gonna show you what I did. This is like the default preset. So I just took out this sub, hit this, so we have like the envelope affecting the amplitude. Increase the attack, decrease decay, increase a little bit of the sustain. And then it's basically the filter. increase the resonance and decrease this envelope. And you can play with how much you want to let it out. The magic comes from this chorus. You can select 1, 2, or both of them. I think I went with 1. The difference. That's beautiful. Ableton has MIDI effects, and inside MIDI effects there is an effect called Chord. For this type of music, for this type of house, that works perfectly. We don't need like a super complex progression. You just grab this major 7 chord, boom. Add an extra lower octave. I recorded a pattern. But this has the groove on. Let's listen to this without the groove. I recorded with my keyboard, so all of the notes were kind of different. I made sure to fix that, and I really wanted to get this like long note, short note thing. I'm sure that has a technical name. Da, 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 da. Some of the notes have different velocity, 2 notes, but it adds da, 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 small details that add some personality. Some effects, Valhalla Supermassive, which is also a free plugin. It's kind of like a reverb and delay thing. A chain. If you don't know what a chain is, I'm gonna make a specific video about this soon, but it's basically a copy of a signal, copying whatever is coming out of here and making a duplicate of that and adding different effects to each. So we have like this, which also has some free Valhalla devices, space modulator and freak echo. And as you can see, some EQ to get rid of these low frequencies, and then this delay to make it stereo. With ping pong mode, very little time, and dry wet to 100%. Let's listen with the other one. Some EQ here. More stereo delay. And then we have this filter which comes into action later. So yeah, these are the chords. After the chords, what I did was the bass. In this case, I didn't make this sound from scratch, but I used this plugin, also from Tal software, called Tal Noisemaker, another great plugin. I did some tweaking, but I can't remember exactly what I did. Portamento here, just the right amount, so the notes have this wah wah. The sound has like this reverb thing here. Copied the chords and paste them. Started to play with lowering 1 octave. You can do 1 octave with shift and down arrow at the same time, holding shift, down, and I did kind of like this. This is the final pattern. This sounds pretty cool because the sound is mono, so we get like this 1 hour. And this is the bass pattern for the whole song. It's repetitive but not annoying. I don't know. It just sounds cool. This type of thing makes it stand out from the chords, so we get like a little bit of a difference between them. At this point, I was like starting to realize that I didn't like the kick drum. So what I decided to do was mute them all. I just recorded this into arrangement view. And this kick. And this is called Mixed House Kick. It's from Sample Focus and it's pretty nice because it's already mixed. I didn't add anything to this. What I did do was make a group with the kick and the drum rack and the rest of the drum sounds that I have here. And I did a group and I added this drum bus to kind of glue together all of the drum sounds so they don't feel like separate things. With the drum bus. I started to organize the song, the intro, and then I did like silence here, and I decided to bring the beat instead of on the 1, on the 2. extra bass only for this part of the song. I don't know, it just adds this little cute thing. EQ, I don't want it to act as a bass because we have this already. I just want it to be like, you know, it's a cool moment. If I just copied this and made exactly the same here, it will start to lose momentum. And the only change that I made to fix that is just make the open hat more present. You can see here the difference. Closed, open. In the first part of this loop, we have just one open hat. And then here, we have open hat all the time. So that's the change. Actually, like the hat should start before this. Like maybe this. Yeah. Now I felt like I needed a bridge. It's not a great bridge. I wanted to change the feeling of coming from these very short notes. These are two chords that we used in the progression, but just to generate like this build up. I added this pad sound from another free plugin called Search. This preset is called Computers in Space. Basically copy paste and then another search BST with this dreamy flute, and I made this melody to go along with this breakdown moment. Without the reverb, it doesn't sound as good. So we have this. It's kind of reverb and delay, and what I did is add another auto filter with an automation with the cutoff. So this is like going down and this is going up. We don't get the melody straight away because we are still transitioning from that to this. Disclosure use very specific vocal loops and people singing or whatever. My first attempt of doing that, this vocal, is actually a loop from Sample Focus. I think the full loop is like this. So I just started to do this until it was the way I liked it. And now the melody is slowly coming up. I don't know if you noticed, but two things are happening with the hi-hats. This super short delay. Add an LFO and map this to the dry wet. Maximum 40%. So we get like this movement. And this is the pattern. The same one from the beginning. To reinforce this, I added another hi-hat, and this is a device from Ableton called DSHH. We can modify the decay, just the default sound, and I just increase the decay with this automation, building up until we get to the culmination with the other hi-hat. In this part of the build-up, I bring back the kick, but with these effects. We have an automation of the feedback. Like this reverb going up, and then eventually we are going to shut this off. It's all about combination. The combination of this now with the hi-hats, the melody, the vocals. Now I want to bring back this. Ta, 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 ta. Instead of doing that, what I decided to do was do like another small build-up, but with the same chords from before. Amp, release, activate it here, and then a lot more satisfying, right? So we come from this. And here we have a riser. The riser is from Sample Focus, Uplifter. Autopan with automations for the amount and the rate. we get like this cinematic thing. For this to work with the auto pan, you need to have the phase all the way either down or up. I'm doing it with sine wave, but you can use any shape you want. Pretty cool effect. I combined that with another riser, and I did like a resample of this clap. This I recorded in an audio channel, and I just like did this, stretch it. You can hold shift and stretch like this, and then use texture mode. So you can get like this. And to that I added another Valhalla Supermassive. The idea with this Valhalla Massive was to just let this clap like be like whoosh, and then here shut up and let the song continue. But I accidentally turned it on here, which is just when another clap hits, and I like that. It sounds like this, just the drums. I'm realizing that this synth is like not enough for me. I needed to be more powerful, so I tried to fix that. I don't think I succeeded. Duplicated this synth and modified here on these settings, and I got this. Again, effects, Valhalla Supermassive, some EQ, because I'm getting these frequencies from the other synth. I just want these highs, and then I added like a little bit of reverb. The one we had alone. Together. I don't know. I don't think it's exactly what I wanted, but it's better than before. It feels more powerful now. We also have like this little sound with a filter. A preset from Search called Norland. It's like this mallet percussive thing. And then I brought back this hi-hat. I'm playing with the decay automation. It's 28%, and then here's like 12%. And it doesn't seem like a big change, but it is for the song. And then I tried to add some vocals. I ended up downloading this one, Psychology Memphis Funk Female Vocal Acapella. With a bunch of effects like hybrid reverb. It's just for when the sample first appears. And then I added like a mixture of overdrive, EQ, this filter, which also it's slowly increasing here, some compression and a limiter to bring back the volume from the compression. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cool. Samplefocus.com, that's where I got all of the samples that you just saw me use, and I got them for free because in Samplefocus you get 3 credits every week to download any 3 samples that you want, and if you run out of those credits you can get more by uploading your own samples. You get 4 credits for each sample that gets approved, so if you share your own things you can download some things from other people as well. I highly recommend that you check it out. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.